Hello everyone, welcome back to Saddle Up Shooting. I'm Dave Strohmeyer, your host. I hope I have a good 2 or 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 videos regarding the 25-06 because I'm working up loads to replace a powder that no longer exists, or actually 3 powders that no longer exist or you can't obtain them. So I'm starting over. I'm planning on going on an antelope hunt if I can coax my brother into going with me in Wyoming in the fall. So I have plenty of time to work up this Browning BBR in 25-06 with a 24-inch barrel. The target is set up at 100 yards. Let's go ahead and get shooting. Now, as I may have stated before, the 25-06 is my preferred caliber cartridge combination for flat shooting, open country, 400 to 500 yards, antelope, mule deer, whitetail, anything where you're in open country because of its speed. Now today I'll be shooting 2 bullets. The 100 grain Nosler ballistic tip and the 100 grain Speer Hot Cor bullet. Both of these bullets have taken game for me in the past and they are absolutely devastating. But today I'm trying a powder that is frequently requested. Again, I'm trying to replace powders that have worked really well before. Winchester 780, Reloader 22, Reloader 23. For some reason, Sweden has decided not to ship Alliant powders to the United States that are made in Sweden. And Winchester 780 was discontinued about 5 years ago and I've finally run out of it. So I'm trying to find other powders that can give me the same similar ballistics to what those powders did. And that is up to 3,300 feet per second with a 100 grain pill. Alright, so I'm starting out with the Nosler's 100 grain IMR-4350. I'm going up to Nosler's Book Max listed load of 51 grains. Now I don't necessarily trust that because in Speer's manual it says I can go up to 53 grains with their bullet, and I will be doing that in this test. Alright, let me go turn the camera on down there. Let's go ahead and get shooting. Now this is probably going to be a series of 4 videos probably until I find the load that I'm after, and I'll post those, intermittently over the summer so that you can see them. So be prepared for that, especially if you like the 25-06, you're going to see a lot of it. Okay, so here we go with my first load. It's only 1 grain below max in Hodgson's manual, or excuse me, in Nosler's manual, directly from their website. So let's see if I need a lie detector for what they say. But here we go. First shot. Hey, a little left, but about 1 inch high, and that's good enough. I forgot to put on the chronograph, fellas. Sorry. Let me go ahead and get it. Take a break. Sorry for wasting your time, but I'm a one-man show. Don't have a professional production staff to make sure that I get things done proper like. But we might get some good out of it because that first shot was without the magneto speed on. For some of you that want to see if there's a point of impact shift with it on versus it off, you're going to see that now. Okay, so here we go with the second shot. And now I got the chronograph on, so we'll have some numbers, but only for 2 shots on this first go around. Alright, here we go. Okay, that's 3,077. According to the manual, with 1 grain higher, I'm supposed to be at 3352. I doubt it, but we'll see. All right, third shot. Okay, it looks like a little bit of a point of impact shift, but I won't know until we shoot a little bit more. But that's about 1 inch group, I'd say. That was 3090 on that last shot. Okay, so you know the drill. We're going to go up just half a grain to 50.5, 3 more shots. Okay, probably within the next month or so, I plan on getting a brand new scope to retire this Redhead Pursuit. That has served me well for over 20 years, but it's time. It's starting to get a little cloudy in there. It's good enough to shoot, don't get me wrong, you're seeing it. But it's time to upgrade with something that's a little bit more modern. Okay, here we go now. 3 shots. Get relaxed. All right, 3140, so that was a pretty good increase of about 50 feet per second. But I doubt we're going to get to 33, which would be my goal. Because with Winchester 780, I did hit 3,325 feet per second with pretty good accuracy. At least Dave Strohmeyer accuracy. $31.13. Not bad for a rifle. Made in 1982. That's older than some of you viewers. $31.35. All right, go to the last 3 now, and that'll be 51 grains. Be right back. All right, that last average was 31.29 with an SD of 14. All right, so here's the last 3. I'm not going to go up 150 feet per second on half a grain of powder, but that remains to be seen. I don't have a lot of experience with IMR-4350. All right, so here we go. Wind's kicked up a little bit. All right, here we go. $31.95. So I'm not even going to get to 3,200. So Hodgdon's book numbers are off by 150 feet per second on their top end in my rifle. So maybe Speer will be a little closer because you're going up to 53 grains in Speer's manual. But let's see how it shoots. $31.84. Let me adjust this parallax a little bit. I think I might be Okay. Last shot. .32-19. Okay, so 150 feet per second off from what the manual states. Now, should I go up a grain or two? Well, you know, it's not what it says in the manual. I have no pressure signs whatsoever, possibly. But now we're going to test the Speer. So, you know the drill. Let's reset up and let's go again. Okay, I think it's still warm, but let's go ahead and get this done for a short go round now using Speer with IMR-4350, going from 52 to 53 grains using Winchester large rifle primers. The overall length is quite a bit shorter, 3.095 compared to 3.200 for the Noslers. Let's go! Okay, here we go with the Speers. Starting at 52 grains, which is a great 1 grain higher than where I ended with the Noslers. But this is what's in Speer's book. And Speer's been really good lately on their numbers. Yeah, 32-11 right off the bat. Alright, wind kicked up to about 15 miles an hour, and I dropped that shot because I was thinking about the wind and not the shot. Oh, that one's on me. But maybe not. We'll see where this last one hits. Yeah, I was wrong. It grouped right down there in that corner. So the first shot, cold bore shot, was in the bullseye, which is okay by me. All right, you know the drill. See you soon. .32-47. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna get there. All right. The accuracy is good. Speed is good. I know the bullet's good. I may have found a powder. Oh, 7/8 of an inch difference there. I don't know. But the first shot, cold bore, or clean bore, first shot is what counts, folks. That's hopefully all I'll get on my trip. One shot. Boy, that group opened up a ton. .32-40. All right, well, maybe not. That's why we test. Isn't it funny that we test all these loads for a hunt that might only involve one shot? Oh well, it's fun. Sure is walking down, isn't it? 33.44 on that first shot on a half a grain of powder. So I'm over 3,300. Let's see how it groups. I don't care if it shoots low or not. If it shoots consistent and it is low, I can adjust the scope for point of aim, point of impact without the magneto speed on and call it good. But it has to at least give me good precision numbers. Hey, looks to be a little over a half an inch on those two. 32.79. So from 33.40 to 32.79, this is not working out in terms of precision numbers. All right, last shot, folks. At least hope for a good group anyway. For my ego. All right, looks to be a little over a half inch. 32.83. All right, let me give you those numbers because this is going to be nuts. All right, that was an average of 33.02. SD 36. Extreme spread 65. That's not good for good numbers for precision, folks. All right, well, let's wrap this up, get back to the barn, analyze that target, move on. Okay, let's go over this target real quick. Over here, IMR-4350 Nosler ballistic tip. Over here, the Speer Hot Cor. Okay, let's start with the Nosler. It worked out okay. You know, the muzzle velocity wasn't there, okay? But it started out with 1.30, 3083, an SD of 9, and that was 1.30 inches, and that was the worst group of the day. Then the next, just going up half a grain, 3129, SD of 14.397 inch group, not bad. Over here, 0.825, opened up a little bit because of one shot, but I did hit 3,200 feet per second. Then over here on the Speer Hot Cor, at first I thought this was really bad. Then I got to analyze it. That's why we analyze targets. Look at this, 0.796, 0.797, 0.755. So that was real consistent, including the point of impact, even though there was a half a grain of powder change. And I finally did hit the 3,300 feet per second. But what was not acceptable was the precision numbers. SD of 27, SD of 21, SD of 36. So this needs further exploring. This probably just needs to go up a little bit, maybe a half a grain, to see if I can get that up a little bit higher. Okay, folks, well, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Please do subscribe. Check your subscriptions, please. But no matter what, God bless you all. See you again next time. Goodbye.